completely different. Something that is needed in our society today. And this lady travels the world giving inspirational talks. It's unique. And as I said, we need it. Please welcome Sonia Poleon. She's going to talk about how to develop yourself and influence others. Please, Sonia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Sonia Poleon. I am an entrepreneur. I have a property portfolio, I have a children's day nursery, and I have an online shoe shop. But I always say that I'm a diamond with many different facets. And I used to work in this organisation on the top floor, and I used to take the lift up, and every morning I'd adorn myself in the mirror, because in the lifts they had these mirrors. And as I stepped out, I'd hold my head up high, because I didn't want anybody to know that I was going through my struggles. And this lady said to me one day, why do you always hold your head up high? And I said, because I'm a diamond with many different facets. I'd sit at my desk sometimes and I'd be dreaming and thinking and thinking. Sometimes I'd be thinking about my problems, but mainly I'd be thinking about where I'm going to go in the future. And people used to call me a daydreamer. Well, I think it's all right for them to call me a daydreamer, because in order for you to have dreams, you've got to dream the dreams first. I tell people, when I die, I'm going to die empty. Every thought, every idea, every ambition that ever came into my mind, I'm going to achieve it. I'm going to accomplish it. And if I don't do that, it's because somewhere along the line I've decided that I don't want that anymore, or it's not for me. So I'm in control of my destiny. I want you to remember that there's a greatness inside each and every one of you. There's a greatness inside each and every one of you. You are exactly what you think you are, and where focus goes, energy flows. So wherever my focus is, I'm going to channel all my energies and put it there. And I'm going to make the things happen for myself. I'm not really an academic person. When I was young, when I was at school, I was a quiet one. I was shy. I used to sit at the back of the classroom. I'd never put my hands up because I was so nervous and frightened. I wasn't a boffin, but one thing I did have was ambition. I left school when I was 16, and in those days we had careers officers. So after we'd done our exams, we went off to see a careers officer. We told them what we wanted to be, and the careers officer told us what they thought we should be. So I wanted to be a midwife, yes, dream killers they are. I wanted to be a midwife, and I said, this is what I want to do. And they said, the lady looked at me over her glasses, and she said, I think you need to be a typist. I'm like, a typist? I want to be a midwife. Anyway, I went home, and I was really fuming mad about it, and I told my parents, and they said to me, well, those are people in authority. They know what's good for you, so you go off to college and be a typist. I was really, really gutted, but I had to do what my parents told me to do. I became a typist. I was a really good one. Became a receptionist, became a secretary, and I moved my way up in the ranks. And then one day I got this burning desire to be a housing officer. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. But I had this desire to be a housing officer, and it wouldn't go away, it wouldn't go away. It just kept on coming back. So I started to apply for all these jobs, all these housing officers' jobs. And in those days, you needed the experience. Not the academic qualification, but the experience. So I couldn't get a job as a housing officer. I decided I was going to take any job I could get. So I went in there in the development department. That's the department where they build the properties. And the government had this new initiative, and it was called Do-It-Yourself Shared Ownership. They gave all these housing associations all these hundreds of thousands of pounds, and they had to give it to tenants to go and buy properties to make themselves independent, as they called it. So they was given this money, and they didn't know what to do with it. So I said, well, look, why don't you make a show house, and we can invite all the council tenants down. If the council's giving you the money, let's invite the council's tenants and give them something back. And what happened was, all the people were lining up to see me. My managers realised that I had this gift of selling properties to people. See, my passion was housing, and it came through. But I wasn't actually working in the housing department. I was working in the development. So I sold all these properties for them, but my passion was for housing. Anyway, one day I got my break. I got a 2-year fixed-term contract as a housing officer. And I worked really hard for the 2 years to prove myself, to prove that I could have that job on a permanent basis. And when the job came up for permanent advertising, somebody else got the job above me. So I said to my manager, what happened? Why didn't I get a job? He said, because she has a degree. I said, oh. Does she have